Guys, we may have been completely wrong about Fortnite's Chapter 6 end event from the beginning, and Fortnite literally just tricked everyone with this absolutely genius plan that I cannot believe they just pulled off. We're now officially less than 2 days away from leaving the Chapter 6 map for good, and whether you think that's good or bad, things are heating up fast on this map, and it's inevitable until it is destroyed. The build-up in-game for this new season and the event has kicked into overdrive, and what's going on with the treehouse right now is the clearest sign yet that something really big is about to happen. At the same time, the entire situation around this event or mini event or whatever you want to call it has taken yet another wild turn, you guys, and it's actually all starting to make sense for the first time. After all of the confusion, the frustration, and then ultimately the backlash over the event being marketed as small or underwhelming, it now looks like Fortnite might have planned this entire thing, and it's honestly kind of genius that this whole thing was fabricated from the beginning. Tim Sweeney, who is the CEO of Epic Games who owns Fortnite, has been dropping some pretty huge hints online, and even leakers are saying this might not be a mini event after all, and Fortnite may have just lied to us or tricked us for a bigger reason. So we're going to go over what exactly is happening in game right now, what the CEO of Fortnite has been saying, and why this whole situation might have been Fortnite's ruse from the very beginning. So let's start with what is actually happening in game, because guys, the map is changing really fast in terms of the top left of the map over by Creepy Camps where Bart's treehouse is. Now stage 5 is now live, and the purple energy around the cartoony treehouse anomaly has ramped up massively. Now if you compare yesterday to today, the difference is absolutely crazy. You're seeing up here is what it looked like it was yesterday. There was some purple energy, some sparkles, but now as you're seeing here, the energy is brighter, it's much more intense, and it's actually flowing even more upward now, like something is about to break through the sky. Now something even more interesting is now there are these glowing strands of energy that look very similar to 0 point energy that we have seen in Fortnite before. We've seen this stuff around the 0 point. We've seen it in anomaly locations many times throughout Fortnite's history. They have that same exact flow pattern with the glowing dots moving through them, as well as that kind of stringy, hair-like look as well. And as you guys can see, this is also going up towards the sky, and while we can't see it actually connecting to anything, it is a sign that, something bigger could be manipulating 0 point energy, and who else could that be other than the Dark Presence, who right now has control of a 0 point shard. And that's supposedly what we're going to be doing in this event, is going after the 0 point shard by entering into the spirit realm. With that being said, a lot of people are starting to think that the Dark Presence is currently using the 0 point shard right now, possibly channeling it through the treehouse somehow, or using the treehouse to kind of interact with our map in some way, or kind of infect it like how it is with this cartoony grass around it. Now, it's also worth noting that the lightning effects around this tree match the same ones that we've seen on the screen in the in-game TV teasers that show the Dark Presence. That cannot be a coincidence in my opinion. I think something is clearly building, and they're clearly hinting towards the Dark Presence being at play here. Whatever is actually happening, it's obvious that this energy is leading into the finale. We've got a countdown. The island in this area is becoming unstable, and in just 2 days, we're saying goodbye to the Chapter 6 map. And let me know if you're happy or sad about that down below. Now, as you guys probably know if you've been following the channel, the community has been on a total roller coaster these past few weeks. It started with people being worried about this event because there was barely any communication, not much marketing in terms of it being a storyline driven live event. There were also no teasers for it at a certain point as well. Everyone was just really confused. Then Fortnite finally confirmed the event a few days later, but they called it a mini event, which I believe we talked about that in the last video. That one word set off absolute chaos, and I am not undermining that at all. That's exactly what it was in the community. People were frustrated and even angry. Like, people were losing their minds over this. Leakers were saying it was supposed to be a full story-driven finale, but the official Fortnite account was calling it something smaller and heavily promoting The Simpsons instead of the Spirit Realm Siege or the Fortnite original storyline we were hoping for. Of course, it really doesn't make much sense for people to be mad at Fortnite for something that leakers said. Of course, you should always take things that leakers say with a grain of salt, but there was a lot of evidence that this was going to be a big event. It had many files inside of Fortnite's files. There was tons of stuff for it. It was very big. There was also apparently rumors that it had been worked on for over 6 months, which makes it seem like it's much more than a mini event. A lot of people were saying too that Fortnite has completely given up on original events, and that's something crazy to say before you've even gotten the event, but others thought that Epic's marketing team had dropped the ball, and after what we're going to talk about, you're going to see how crazy it is that people were calling for Fortnite's marketing team to be fired because of this. It's absolutely insane. But after everything we've seen the past couple of days and what we've been following, it's starting to look like that mini event label might have been intentional all along. Like everybody, like Epic Games actually wanted everyone to underestimate this event so that they were blown away when we actually saw it. Now, this is where things get really interesting, you guys, and you're going to want to pay attention here. So Tim Sweeney, and I mentioned him earlier, he is the CEO of Epic Games, and he has been very active on social media recently, unusually active on Twitter, and it looks like he's confirming that this might all be a part of a plan that was much bigger than we could have thought. He's liked multiple tweets from people that were speculating that Epic called it a mini event on purpose to lower expectations, and then he posted this domino meme right here. You know, the one where that's saying small actions lead to a massive payoff. And he even liked another post that literally said, does this mean the mini event is actually a big event? That's not something he does randomly, you know what I mean? He knows exactly how the community reads into these things, so he definitely didn't just do that for no reason. A lot of people were saying they were looking too much into it. Some people said, oh, he didn't actually say anything, but he knows what he is doing something like that. He would have to know that people would post something like that. Now, it's super rare for Tim Sweeney to directly acknowledge Fortnite's live event hype like this, or kind of the backlash that was happening. And it definitely feels like he's teasing that we're in for something much bigger than what's being advertised. The one thing that really strikes me is him liking the tweet that was saying, you know, that this was that they lowered expectations on purpose so that we were actually blown away. I think it's very plausible that this entire mini event promotion, you know, the not much communication, the not much marketing, it being kind of small thing, was designed to throw us off, to get everyone talking, to get people arguing and debating, and then absolutely blow us away when it actually happens. And if you think about it, that makes a lot of sense if, you know, the only parts of the event that they showed in terms of teasers was the Simpsons stuff, because they knew people would be outraged about that. I think that is absolutely genius if that's what they were doing. If that's the case, I think this is one of actually the smartest marketing moves Fortnite has ever pulled. A lot of people are saying that really doesn't make much sense though, because if people are going to get mad, they're not going to watch the event. But I think it's the absolute opposite. You know what I mean? We kind of marketed this event on our own. The leakers did it on their own with, you know, to getting everybody excited, and then people get mad, and then everyone wants to know what's going on and what's happening. If you think about it, they've kept the hype low. They've focused everyone's attention on the Simpsons crossover, made people think that the story was being sidelined, and that's a huge storyline in itself, and let the community build all of the drama themselves. Then right before the event, the leaks start shifting. Tim starts liking tweets, and suddenly everyone realizes that Fortnite might have been playing chess while we're playing checkers this entire time. Even Hypex, the biggest Fortnite leaguers and one of the most reliable sources as well, said that a trusted source that he has told him that this is a full-sized event and that next month's event might be even bigger. Of course, that is not confirmation, but it definitely adds up. These big leakers have a very trusted sources inside of Epic Games, or, you know, whoever they are. I have no idea. Like I said, that's not confirmation or anything, but it is something to take into consideration. And when you also think about it, the timing also makes perfect sense. This event is happening early in the day, and we talked earlier about how a big part of the confusion in the community had to do with that. This event is happening at 11 a.m., which is very unusual, especially on a Saturday. It's normally around, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. 11 a.m. is pretty early. And then just 6 hours later at around 5 p.m., they're saying the next mini season, the Simpsons season, goes live. If this event really does shock people, and with all of these eyes that are going to be on it now, with Fortnite barely promoting it, that new season is going to get massive attention because people are invested in the storyline of exactly what is going to happen in this event, and if Fortnite dropped the ball, or if they're actually gonna blow us away. Everything about this just screams like planned to me. Epic knows how to control hype. They've been doing this for a really long time. They've created one of the most, if not the most successful games in the last couple of years, in the last decade, to be honest. And if they actually manage to lower expectations this much just to pull off a huge surprise, that is absolutely brilliant to me. It's all adding up, and it feels like something big is coming. What's really funny, you guys, is that after all the chaos that we've had this week, people have finally calmed down a little bit. There's not as much people saying other should lose their jobs at Epic Games. The tone has completely shifted from outrage to a lot of curiosity. People are finally sitting back and saying, okay, Epic, we see what you're doing. We have some theories. Let's actually see what's happening now. The hype is back. People want to see if Fortnite can actually pull something this crazy off. The whole back and forth, though, you guys, from the confusion, the anger to speculation, has only made me more excited to see what's about to happen. And guys, I cannot express this enough. Do not miss this event, because if it's bad, it's going to be crazy. If it's small, the discourse is going to be crazy and it's going to be awesome. And even if it's good, it's going to be awesome as well to see what happens with that as well. It really does feel like Fortnite's been one step ahead this whole time. They knew the community would react this way, and it might have all been part of a crazy plan. No matter what happens though, you guys, this has easily been one of the most unpredictable buildups we've had in years. Between the energy buildup at the treehouse, Tim Sweeney's kind of cryptic likes and tweets, and all the theories flying around, this would end up being one of Fortnite's best twists ever in terms of an event. I can't wait to see how this plays out, and I'll be covering the event live and breaking everything down after it happens as well. If you want to see how we got here, you guys, from people being confused to then angry to now realizing Fortnite might have been planning this all along, check out my last few videos. The full story, it makes this moment even crazier and will get you much more excited for the event, and I can promise you that. But guys, if you did enjoy today's video, please do drop a like. You watched all the way to the end. You must have enjoyed, so drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. I make videos like these literally every single day. Use code PROZEROYT in the Fortnite item shop if you'd like to support me further, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.